Jerez, which is the location for today's race. The cars are out on the grid, so let's join the action down on the track. At 2,285 metres above sea level, the thin air of the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez poses a unique challenge, not just to a driver's skill, but to the efficiency of their engines as well. 17 corners make up a lap of this 2.6-mile circuit, and you can expect incredible speeds in excess of 220 miles per hour, and overtaking too into the hard braking zones of turns 1 and turn 4.
What's going on, guys? Beasts and Dragons here, and welcome to episode 4 of the Split Screen Championship on F1 2020. We're here in Mexico for the Mexican Grand Prix.
Well, obviously, we're going to have an 18-lap race here as it's 25%. And as you see on your screen right now, you actually managed to out-qualify me for the first time this season in P2.
Finally!
And I'm only P4, only 3/10 off the pace and ahead of my teammate again. In race terms or whatnot. So I'm just about ahead of Vettel. Meanwhile, Albon is only in P7.
Well, he made it in the top 10, so I think I'll be accepting of that. I'll accept it as it is. And strategy-wise, it's once again a one-stop. There'll be no rain on the way this time, and we're just going to lower the fuel load here, and there we go. So, let's get into the Mexican Grand Prix.
So we're revving up to 5 red lights here for the Mexican Grand Prix. And it's go!
For the Mexican Grand Prix, they held us there for quite a while, but I think we managed to get the best start between me and Lewis Hamilton as we go down the straight, and we're side by side with the 6-time champion Dragons. Is it going to make it 3 wide into turn 1? Who's going to come out on top here? We back out, and Hamilton and Dragons are side by side. There was a bit of contact between you two, but you've taken the lead of the Mexican Grand Prix.
Well, luckily for me, no one got damaged and no one got a warning there. So I'm actually in the lead of the Grand Prix from 4th to 1st, just like that. And now Lewis Hamilton is all over my gearbox now.
Well, it won't be for very long because we're going to try and get in there as we have a look on the inside into turn 4, I think. Yeah, turn 4, and we weren't able to make the move on the 6-time champion.
Well, now that I'm finally in the lead, I can look to start saving Urs for defence. And where has the FIA seen a corner cut there? USA all over again. But nah, that's not important. I'm in the lead of the race. So we start lap 2 of the Grand Prix, and I've done the fastest lap. Well, let's ignore it was the first lap, okay? No need to mention that. Hamilton in 2nd, you in 3rd, and Bottas has had quite an awful start. He's down in 4th.
Yeah, Bottas losing out. I think Sebastian Vettel is still 5th at the moment. Alex Albon up to 6th, so a decent start for the time.
And Silver Avo is now looking to try and get ahead. Will he dive it into turn 1? I haven't gone defensive for a reason, as he is too far back.
Yeah, Hamilton definitely biding his time to make the move. He knows that he is faster than Charles Leclerc right now. That's another warning for me.
And you're looking to get Hamilton now. Can you get ahead of Lewis Hamilton here? Going around the outside. He does break a bit later. He nearly wipes him out in the process. And you're through.
Yeah, it was a very awkward exit for Hamilton. You nearly spun off on the curb there. And Hamilton trying to come back at us on the outside into the triple right-hander. But we're up in a 2nd place. Hamilton taking a really wide line, which had him awkwardly bounce over the curb. But I don't think we'll be ahead of him for much longer. Because look at him. Look at this.
Oh my God. You're being absolutely murdered by the Mercedes, and obviously I wish I could help you here, but there's no way for me to help, and it's 3 wide going into turn 1.
We might be sandwiched by the Mercedes parents. Hamilton passes us, but we're going to try hang it round the outside, and it turns to the inside for the next corner. Incredible defending there.
We've got yellow flags here in the 3rd sector, and this is pretty questionable here. I think it might be one of the Mercedes.
I don't think so. Oh, no.
Oh, wait a minute.
No, it's Alex
Oh,
Albon.
no. Well, we were talking about him maybe getting his first podium in F1, where he's going to get his first retirement of the season. And that's a massive shame for Red Bull.
On lap 4 as well. We haven't even crossed quarter distance, and Alex Albon has a reliability problem. Just like in our Silverstone video as well. And it's more disappointment for Alex Albon. He can't get anything going this season. And now the bad luck has transpired here into Mexico. So Dragon's definitely harvesting more energy than we are, as we've been using it to overtake other drivers. You've gone really wide there. I've no idea. You're screaming all over the place.
I'm absolutely losing the rear like a madman, but what is keeping me in the lead is definitely my straight line speed as I go down the inside and I cover the inside so you can't have a go. You're going to look to get a better exit, but I get an exit just as good as yours.
Meanwhile, Hamilton was having another look there on round the outside, but we were able to fend him off as Sebastian Vettel's joined the party here, and now it's a 5-way for the win here in
Matt needs to defend from Lewis Hamilton, who's probably been saving Urs here, biding his time, but he can't bide too much, otherwise I actually might win this thing.
Lewis Hamilton wasting little time as he makes his way past Verstappen, past us, down this main straight with ease with the aid of DRS, but we're going to try and fight back into turn 1, but we outbreak ourselves and we have to stay behind Hamilton. And next on his list is a very struggling Ferrari in front of him.
Well, resistance was definitely futile. Well, it turns out now I've got a penalty. Things get even worse. And I think it was like the smallest corner cut ever as well. We're not going to win in Mexico if we can't find any pace. It's important that I pit here and find some pace.
Hamilton's going to follow you in as well. So Lewis Hamilton has decided to follow you in. Crucial moment here in this Mexican Grand Prix.
Well, we need a good pit stop here by Ferrari. Is it a good pit stop? It's a decent pit stop, and Hamilton's been slightly held up.
Hamilton's still behind you. No, that's Perez. So he did get held up by Sergio Perez there in the racing point. So they continue to be a thorn in the side of the front runners.
Now, what's important is that I've come out in clean air, and Hamilton is out behind the TV. So I need to use this time here to pull away on these fresh tyres while I still have grip.
Well, that is true. I mean, you've been struggling for pace so far in this entire first stint, as you were not even able to pull out a second advantage, unless I made a mistake. Valtteri Bottas keeping us very honest. As we come in now, we just about make it into the pit lane.
Meanwhile, Seb also pulls into the pits. He's ahead of Bottas. Meanwhile, Hamilton is really held up by the TV. He's just about gotten ahead now, which is terrible news for him.
Yeah, meanwhile, 2.6 second stop. Sebastian Vettel's gone for hard tyres.
What?
Hard tyres?
My God. Ferrari strategists playing their games again. But it's now going to be pretty close. And look at how good my last sector was. I'm actually ahead. I've found some pace here in Mexico. Miracle. Absolute miracle.
But now that means that you're still in the net first place. We're in the net second somehow. Sebastian Vettel, we've both finessed our way past the Mercedes cars.
Oh my God.
Both Ferraris could be seeing the podium at the end of this
It's now lap 11 of the Grand Prix and I'm in the lead, but that gap is nowhere near 3 seconds.
No, it isn't. You're going to have to find a way to get some pace, otherwise you have no chance of winning. Speaking of chances here, I think Hamilton's going to take a chance on Sebastian Vettel round the outside of the turn 1.
Is that Hamilton?
Yeah, that's Hamilton.
How did Hamilton get ahead of Bottas?
Both Mercedes got jumped in the pit stops. I think Vettel might just hang on here for third
Five
place.
ways, dear. I think it's safe to say that I've been sandbagging this entire time, as I'm actually able to find a bit of pace, but you are clinging me onto me. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? I've actually gone and done the fastest lap. I think we're in some fantasy universe. I've done another fastest lap.
119.4 for Dragons as he sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix.
I absolutely need you to fight Hamilton. So then if I can keep up this good pace I've got somehow, then I guess I'll get the win easily if you keep self-destructing with Hamilton.
Well, yeah, we'll be holding each other up, meaning Dragons will be able to pull away. So that's the thing that needs to happen right now. If he has any chance of taking his first win, but I don't think we're going to go away that easily.
Are you kidding me? Oh, for goodness sake! Well, that's very kind of you there, man. The gap is definitely not 3 seconds anymore. But if I can keep up the pace, I might just be able to win, which would be absolutely awesome. As I come around the last corner and start lap 14. And my pace is actually decent. You only were 1/10 quicker than me there. Lap 16 of the GP, and our pace, both of us, is dropping quite a bit because of the tyre wear.
Yeah, meanwhile, speaking of pace, Hamilton's got a lot more pace than we do because he's caught us now and he's got the DRS going into turn 1. Can we fend off Lewis Hamilton here? We'll turn it to the inside for the next corner. Hamilton's still poking now on the inside line, but we are able to holding off for now. But for how much longer? Because that Mercedes is looking quick on those medium tyres.
Absolutely lethal here is Lewis Hamilton. I'm surprised he's not gone and set 18 fastest laps. I've nearly track extended there. And I forgot to tell you guys, I'm at my second warning now. So I just need to make sure I keep a 3-second gap and not corner cut. Otherwise, it will turn into a 6-second penalty. And that's the last thing I need here.
Yeah, so if you turn that to a 6-second penalty, you're guaranteed to finish at least third, because Bottas and Vettel are not really putting much of a threat in 4th and 5th place.
Well, meanwhile, have you got one warning?
I think I've only got one warning in this entire thing.
That's actually incredible, really. I'm surprised you didn't have kept the discipline, really. But there's only 2 laps to go, and that's 2 laps of non-corner cutting and keeping up with this optimum pace to get the win of the GP.
And 26 points as well. It'll be the first win for Ferrari this season, if you can hang on and manage your urge to cut corners, Dragons.
Absolutely. We have to record straight away here, because here comes Lewis Hamilton again.
Hamilton's coming back at us down this main straight. This time he wants the outside into turn 1 again. We're able to fend off on the inside line, but he's still there on the inside line, but we get a bit of a pear-shaped exit out of the chicane, and he's going to have another go at us here.
Meanwhile, Vettel is right behind Valtteri Bottas, so Bottas has been unable to break the DRS gap to Vettel.
Yeah, so Bottas, we've still got a Ferrari right on his rear wing, and maybe, if me and Hamilton keep on squabbling, maybe it will encourage them to fight for a podium. It's not over yet. I've still got a lap and a half to go.
Absolutely, but now this is where the pressure is starting to kick in here, as I have my chance to get my first, and I'm guessing only win. This is my best chance, definitely, to get a win this season. And it would be absolutely heartbreaking if I was to lose it.
Well, so Dragons, 1 lap away from potentially taking Ferrari's first win of the season, in a season where they've completely underperformed, especially in real life.
Definitely. But now I need to make sure the gap is 3 seconds, and by the looks of it, it looks like I'm just about safe for now. It's now the last lap of the Grand Prix, and I'm just looking to bring it home here. 1 last lap to not get a penalty.
And meanwhile, Lewis Hamilton's going to try again on the outside into the chicane, but we hang him off. We fend him off again. Bottas still fending off Sebastian Vettel. It's not been a great day for the Finnish driver, who's looking to gain point on his teammate in the Drivers' Championship. And speaking of that Drivers' Championship, we'll gain 3 points on Hamilton if it ends like this, and we'll be 13 behind him, so that championship race will be heating up going into the next round. But speaking of heating up the championship race, Dragons could be on the verge of doing so, because he's hanging in there, still leading this Grand Prix, making sure he's not cutting corners. He got a great start in this Grand Prix. We've locked up there into the stadium section, but Dragons is going to come through and maybe take the win. He wins on the road, but has he won the Mexican Grand Prix?
Well, now the gap needs to be 3 seconds, and I'm just wondering, is that the win for Charles Leclerc? And we're at the podium celebrations, and Charles Leclerc wins his first race of the season. What a moment for Ferrari.
Absolutely, Ferrari are back on top of the podium again in Formula 1. And it's the Monegasque superstar Charles Leclerc who wins for Ferrari. So despite Dragon's penalty at the beginning of the Grand Prix, he wins the Mexican Grand Prix by only 0.3 of a second.
My
to
God.
Max Verstappen.
Well, definitely it was a good thing that I actually managed to get the pace around the start of the second stint. Meanwhile, Racing Point, only P8 and P9. I thought they'd be around 5th or 6th. And Vettel finishing where he started. Meanwhile, Alex Albon further down the field had a retirement, unfortunately for him. Hamilton in P3, Bottas in P4. And that's the Mexican Grand Prix.
Yeah, Daniel Ricciardo completing the top 10 for Renault, scoring points once again. And you did mention Alex Albon with that reliability problem early on in the Grand Prix. Danny Fiat joined him as well, as we only had 2 retirements. But Dragons taking 26 points in the Mexican Grand Prix.
I've definitely bounced back from the USA, but that, guys, is the end of today's video.
Feel free to like, comment, follow, subscribe for more F1 2020 content on this channel. And we'll see you later, guys. Goodbye.